Good day, folks. This is Soul, and welcome back to another episode of Warcraft Weekly, the show that probably lost count of how many episodes it's done. What, I think we're at like a buck 80 something now? Dude, I've been doing this shit for 4 years now. What am I doing with my life? We have another wonderful, fun-filled, non-alpha coverage show. And as always, Bob and I would be on top of a mailbox dancing for gold if it wasn't for our valued supporters, whose names I'm going to butcher. Jerry, Jim, and Miak are stepping it up, and joining us are somewhat newcomers Jalzan, P-Able, Heather, and Larry. Thank you for supporting a channel that doesn't bombard you with the garbage clickbait thumbnails like this. Ew, gross. So let's start off with some WoW Classic news. The mystery of the WoW Classic PTR on your Battle.net client has been revealed, giving players a chance to check out upcoming old content. Zul'Gurub and Arathi Basin, along with other components of Classic's next content phase, can be tested and okay, they beat it already. Rats. It does sound a little unusual to have a PTR for testing just this, and clearly the race to world first Zul'Gurub is gonna be measured by like fractions of a second if Blackwing Lair is any indication of how quickly the upcoming raid is gonna get stomped. The cynical side of me kind of thinks that the PTR opened up now to tease a little bit of hype, you know, to keep WoW Classic in the news cycle. Tests like these are called soak tests. You know, they're kind of like the, hey, does it work? Cool. All right, great, thanks kind of test. But here's what I think though. I think that the PTR isn't really for testing phase 4 content.
Oh my god, is it Classic Plus?
No.
Well, plus you, better pluser.
Last week I speculated that the PTR would be used for testing the upcoming AQ event, but I think I understated it at the time. Now, I'm all but convinced that following this round of testing, the WoW Classic team is going to call up on all of us to jam our faces into the PTR where they themselves will ring the gong and unleash AoE hell upon Azeroth. Now you gotta understand this, folks at home and elsewhere. The AQ event is really special. It's a one-time, well, it was a one-time only event that you really should have been there for. So this many years later, you can bet that even more people will be trying to get in on the action, and the last thing that we want is a total realm meltdown, so why not test it on the PTR first? Clearly, I'm not a part of the WoW Classic scene, but there is a little bit of speculation to be had. First, a crash course on the AQ event. So, the first player per realm to ring the gong and open the gates will obtain this Scarab Lord title and a legendary mount. However, the actual war lasts for about 10 hours. If anyone else is able to complete the quest and ring the gong, they won't get the title, but they'll at least obtain the legendary mount. So, there's no doubt that some top guilds on servers are already stockpiling hundreds of thousands of materials, and they're gonna race to be the first realm to open the gates. But I also think that top guilds on other realms will also straight up collude to make it so that while only one person is going to be the Scarab Lord, they're going to help as many people get the mount as possible within this 10-hour window. Getting into all the details of how that works is a little bit much, but basically, players are going to be working together really hardcore just to open the gates for the first time. Working on multiples of these for the sake of mount farming is going to take effort in order of magnitudes. And how tempting might it be for a big streamer to encourage their followers to help them, which is a fear that's long been predicted before Classic's launch. Whatever the case may be, Blizzard is projecting a massive spike in server activity during this event, and like I said, they just don't want to screw it up. That's not all for Classic news though. Blizzard/NetEase announced that the WoW token could be available for WoW Classic in the China region. Yeah, WoW token, WoW Classic. The reactions from the internet were swift and unsurprisingly mixed.
Wait, what happened to hashtag no changes? Come on, gamers, rise up and defend our rights to suppress the progressive movement.
I have my own opinion to share, but the fact of the matter is that Dude, it's 2020, man. It's no secret that there's a gray market for virtual currency. Bots are going to farm gold. People are going to buy said gold. Time is money, and etc., etc. There's no denying that if nothing else, the WoW token is a safer exchange. But there's also no denying that Blizzard is going to make some profit out of this. There's also no indication so far that this feature is coming to Western realms. After all, China has always done its own thing with like double the raid lockouts and microtransactions for progression that, if released elsewhere, it would generate all sorts of outraged click revenue. However, the doubt has settled in. I mean, sure, the North American fact says that WoW tokens won't be in Classic, but this ain't no contract, man. This is hardly binding. WoW tokens entering WoW Classic in your region is a possibility. Ultimately, it's not the worst thing in the world, though. Like I said, illicit gold trading is happening right now anyway, so why not make it a little bit safer? Which brings me to my opinion on the matter in this whole WoW token and Classic thing. If it did come to our region, I think it would be kind of bad, but for two reasons. First, it's too soon. WoW Classic has been out for a little over 6 months now, but apparently Blizzard feels like that's enough time for these server communities to mature. Meanwhile, the World of Warcraft waited around 11 years for the WoW token to be a thing during Warlords of Draenor. During that expansion, as well as Legion, an untold amount of gold was generated thanks to mission tables that everybody had easy access to. Classic doesn't have that. There's just quest rewards and killing boars. For every WoW token players buy with gold, that gold will potentially leave that server's market for a different one. Which is also what happens today in Classic. Gold sellers are transferring characters to realms solely for the purpose of trading gold. I have concerns that the WoW token will make gold move back and forth faster than normal gold generating can keep up with. The token does self-regulate its price, but this is going to adversely affect some realms more than another. The whole TLDR for that is that the economy in WoW Classic might not be mature enough to handle the WoW token, but that's just a very amateur opinion. My second gripe is that the WoW token is a cross-realm feature, and cross-realm anything isn't a part of WoW Classic. Until it is, at least. One of the charms of WoW Classic is its realms being independent from one another. Now, a feature like the WoW token is going to influence overall market pricing. But like as I said before, character transfers and whatnot, that's a thing now too, so it's all really gray. And maybe my concerns are unfounded, or at least not enough to stop the WoW token train from plowing through. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in a comment below. This came in a little bit late last week, but I'll mention it today. A series of very lucrative buffs in 8.3 greatly increased the amount of coalescing visions that you obtain from dailies and assault completions. On top of that, up to 4 of those torn pages can drop from horrific visions, making ranking up your alts that much faster than before. On top of that, the quest requirements to upgrade the final few ranks of your cloak have been cut down considerably. In so few words, it's hella faster. This isn't what I was really predicting though, when Blizzard said that there would be ways to catch up, by just nerfing the requirements. Now, granted, no one has a rank 13 cloak right now, so those of us who are coming into it with very few keys, if any, ought to feel a little bit of relief.
There's nothing like being relieved of your own self-inflicted pressure.
Dude, don't take my accomplishments away from me. If you're still having trouble with visions, I've been trucking along with guides and commentary pretty much every week, including my latest accomplishments, which was a full 5 chest clear on my poorly geared priest, and a full 5 mask clear on my main. So stay tuned for when I try doing visions seriously as a DPS role. The least favorite of them all. Alright, so moving on to Shadowlands. Somewhere out there, a handful of friends and family of Blizzard are at home or on their toilets, checking out their first glimpses of the upcoming expansion, and I am not one of those friends. No, stop that. Select Battle.net accounts have been flagged for the alpha download, which isn't exactly an indication of an invite, because you typically get an email informing you. I haven't found any of that circulating, which means that it definitely literally doesn't exist. Right. Denial. There's also been word circulating that a media summit will be underway soon, that invites have been sent out to a select few content creators and news organizations of prominence, so like, not me, but that's okay, cause Bob's in the alpha.
Shadowlands, more like Shadow Limp. Ha ha ha.
Soon can't come soon enough, and despite the rumors and the hints, we're no closer of knowing in advance when the data mining floodgates will be opened. So as another reminder, please don't forget to opt into the beta for a chance to get in at some stage of testing. You'll know for sure that you're in if your Battle.net client shows that you have the alpha and that you're able to download it. And then of course you'll be notified on the email address associated with your Battle.net account. And nope, still not in. Oh well, that takes care of the news. This week was a little bit weird with not a lot of news, but a lot of work on my end. I had to, I moved back into the old spot, which took a lot of rearranging. And I've been hard at work at envisioning a more or less complete concept of how traditional player housing in World of Warcraft would work. So far with what I have, it's coming out pretty sweet. Now, I know that player housing isn't for everyone. But, neither is Mythic Raiding, but the point is that there are features that fans are super excited to see. This video should be done next week, and even if you think player housing would literally destroy the World of Warcraft, I'd like you to watch what I have to share anyway, because obviously I don't want to literally destroy WoW, I want it to thrive. So I'm going to do my best to make a non-fan appreciate what housing can still do for the game and revitalize the relevance of content game-wide. You may have noticed a lot of my time has been spent covering visions. For me, horrific visions have been a total blast, and it's helped me find a fun way to deliver helpful content to your eyeballs while we're waiting for the alpha. But like you, I'm getting hungry, man. So I'm right there with you guys, and I appreciate everyone who drops by during these, somewhat slower news cycles. But speaking of appreciating, I did hold a drawing last week where I asked for your thoughts and prayers that I'd get into the alpha, and one lucky winner would be chosen to get a bitch basic copy of Shadowlands. The winner is Arboot, who writes, "Good luck getting in the alpha. I hope I get into at some point." Well, good luck to you too, Reboot. To claim your stuff, just reply in a comment with an email address so I can send you your copy of Shadowlands, or else. Next week, I'm going to continue my quest to become the Faceless One and complete Stormwind with 5 masks. That ought to be, special. And then I'm going to unleash my concept of player housing, which will start an unstoppable revolution.
No, you won't.
No, I won't. But I'll have videos next week, so if you haven't already, please subscribe for more of this and all things Warcraft. Hit that notification thingamajigger too, and thank you very much for making it to the end. We'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.